We are now going to move into our shared reading lesson for today. Today is the last day we're going to be talking about author's purpose. The author's purpose of a text can be to inform, entertain, or persuade. So remember, this week we've been talking about why the author's purpose is important for us to understand. So we need to know as readers and as writers, why did the author write the story? What am I going to be looking at when I'm reading this story? So the first author's purpose we talked about in depth was inform. So the author is trying to give you information and teach you facts if they are writing an informational piece. So some examples we talked about were documentaries, nonfiction, history, science, news, articles, recipes, and biographies. The author's purpose is when they are trying to inform or teach you something. When the author's purpose is to entertain, that means the author is trying to make you enjoy the story by keeping the reader's attention. So some of these examples would be fiction, fantasy, mystery, comics or jokes, adventure, or romance. So when the author is trying to entertain you, you're going to have characters, a setting, and a beginning, middle, and end to the story. So when the author is trying to entertain me, something is going to happen in the story. So maybe a problem and a solution, or some big event will happen in the story. And then lastly, yesterday we looked at when the author's purpose is to persuade. So this was when the author was trying to get me to do something or try something, or the author wants me to agree with them. Some examples are commercials, billboards, advertisements, opinions, reviews, and political ads. What you're going to do today is you're going to listen to the story called The Story of the Leprechaun. Then you're going to answer the questions on the next slide. So after you listen to that story, you have to think really carefully. What was the author's purpose in the story? Was the author trying to inform or teach you something? Was the author trying to entertain you by having a beginning, middle, and end, and by having some sort of problem and solution? Or was the author trying to persuade you? Was the author trying to get you to believe something that they believe? Or was the author trying to get you to think in a certain way? What you're going to do is click and drag this box over whichever answer you think the author's purpose was in this story, the story of the leprechaun. Then you're going to give 2 reasons from the story to support your answer. Use complete sentences. So if you say the author's purpose is to inform, then that means you should show me in the story where are 2 places that the author's trying to give you information and teach you facts. So you should give me 2 examples, such as maybe they gave you a fact about leprechauns or they gave you a fact about Ireland. So if the author's purpose is to entertain, then you have to click and drag the box over top and give me 2 reasons. How do you know? What are 2 things that happened in the story that tell you that this author's purpose was to entertain? Or if you think it was to persuade, give me 2 reasons from the story to support your answer. So what are 2 things that they were trying to get you to do or think or try in the story? Then you can pick a brain break. It is now time to listen to the story and complete your shared reading slide by answering the questions.